Welcome back to the Business Book Club. Today we're diving into a book that really flips the script on how we often think about starting a business. It's Dan Norris's The 7-Day Startup. You don't learn until you launch.
That title definitely doesn't mess around, does it? Norris is all about cutting through the endless planning, the analysis paralysis.
Exactly. He argues for getting straight to the point, building something real, something scalable, not just, well, another job for yourself.
And his whole philosophy isn't just theory. It comes from his own pretty tough experiences, right?
Oh, absolutely. This deep dive, we're going to unpack why launching fast is so critical for learning, what real validation actually means, according to him, and, the practical steps. But yeah, understanding Norris means understanding his journey first. It's quite a story of struggle, failure, and then a big breakthrough.
It really grounds the advice, doesn't it? Knowing it came from someone who was genuinely stuck in that entrepreneur phase for a while.
Totally. So picture this. It's 2000, he's at university, has this idea for an online HR manual. All the forms, processes, everything a small business needs. Sounds pretty good, right?
Yeah, ahead of its time, maybe.
Maybe. He spent 6 months planning it meticulously. Research, business plan, gets an A for it. Loads of effort.
Loads of effort.
Never launch it.
Never launched it. And looking back, he reckons it was easily a 7, maybe 8-figure opportunity, just missed, gone, because he didn't act.
Ouch, that's his first big lesson right there. You don't learn until you launch.
That's the mantra. It's so easy to get lost in perfecting the plan, isn't it? And the market just moves on without you.
Or your perfect plan turns out to be based on flawed assumptions anyway.
Precisely. But he didn't give up on entrepreneurship. 2006, he starts a web design agency. This time he actually builds it. Revenue grows, gets an office, hires staff, hundreds of clients over the years. Looks okay on the surface.
Okay, so that one worked out.
Well, no, that's the twist. Despite all that activity, all that growth, he admits it was never profitable. Not once in 7 years. 7 years. Wow.
Yeah. He was earning less than his old job, stressed, living week to week. He eventually realized the whole business model was fundamentally broken. It was basically just buying himself a job, not building an asset.
That's a really painful realization after putting in all that time and effort.
Incredibly painful. So he sells that agency for not much, has enough cash for maybe 12 months, and decides, right, one more proper shot. A real startup this time.
Okay, third time lucky.
He hopes so. He starts an analytics dashboard called Informally, spends nearly a year on it. And again, on the surface, things look decent. They get about 2,200 free signups, even some good press coverage.
Ah, the vanity metrics trap.
Exactly. Because after 11 months, you know how much monthly recurring revenue MRR Informally had?
Not much.
$476, while costing over $2,000 a month to run.
Oof. That's not sustainable at all.
Not even close.
Yeah.
He was literally 2 weeks away from packing it all in, giving up on being an entrepreneur for good. It was a stark lesson. Signups don't equal sales. Press doesn't equal sales.
Yeah, validation isn't people saying they like it. It's people paying for it.
Precisely. But then comes the turnaround, his 7-day success. With those last 2 weeks of money, he throws a Hail Mary. Launches a completely different service, WP Curve. WordPress support in just days.
Okay, how fast are we talking?
Domain registered Saturday. Site live Tuesday, launch email Wednesday, first paying customer Wednesday, same day.
Wow. That's immediate validation.
Totally. In that first week, 10 customers,
Yeah.
$476 MRR. The exact same revenue Informally took almost a year to hit.
That must have been a light bulb moment, a huge one.
Absolutely massive. And WP Curve took off over $33,000 MRR in about 13 months. It just proved his whole launch fast, learn fast idea wasn't just talk.
So that rapid launch cycle became the core of his philosophy.
Exactly. So as we dig in now, that's the context. Why action beats planning, what real validation is, and how he thinks you can get there fast.
Okay, so let's unpack some of these core ideas. He starts by making a distinction, doesn't he, between just a business and a startup.
Yeah, that's key. He says, look, a business can just be something that pays your wages, like, running a local shop or a franchise. Perfectly fine, but it's not necessarily a startup.
Right. And he leans on Eric Ries's definition here, which is useful. A startup is a human institution designed to deliver a new product or service under conditions of extreme uncertainty.
So uncertainty is baked in.
Totally. And Norris emphasizes that startups usually have high impact potential. They're trying to change something, disrupt something, high levels of innovation. And because of that, high levels of uncertainty. It's not just about replicating a known model.
It's about building something new, potentially world-changing, even if just in a niche.
Got it.
Then he talks about this trifecta for success, right? Idea, execution, hustle.
Yeah, and he argues that you really need all three firing together, which is maybe why so many attempts fail. People focus too much on one or neglect another.
Like the idea guys. He acknowledges ideas do matter, pushing back a bit on the whole ideas are worthless, only execution matters thing. He says a good idea needs some unique quality.
But he definitely warns against the entrepreneurs who just talk about ideas forever. They spend like 100% of their time brainstorming and zero time building or selling.
Been there, seen that. Then there's execution, how well you actually present and deliver your idea.
And his point here is critical. Customers compare you to the best out there, regardless of your size or resources. Your website, your communication, it all has to look professional and trustworthy. You can't look amateurish.
So first impressions really count in execution.
Yeah.
And the third part, hustle.
Right. Which he defines pretty simply as just relentlessly pursuing what needs to be done at the time. And crucially, that usually means getting customers.
Yeah, he contrasts it with what he calls anti-hustle, things that feel productive but aren't actually moving the needle on revenue, like endlessly tweaking code, optimizing tiny things, going to networking events without a clear goal.
Stuff entrepreneurs often do to feel busy, basically. And an interesting side point he makes is that it's rare for one person to truly master all three: idea, execution, and hustle.
Which kind of hints at the value of co-founders or a good team, doesn't it? Someone to cover the bases you're weaker on.
Exactly. It's hard to be brilliant at dreaming it up, building it perfectly, and selling it relentlessly all by yourself.
Okay, let's get to the really provocative bit. The 7-day deadline. Why 7 days? It sounds incredibly tight.
Well, the main driver is his critique of traditional validation methods. He argues most of them are, frankly, terrible indicators of real market demand.
Like the Informly example, 2,200 email signups meant almost nothing in terms of actual paying customers.
Precisely. Or getting your friends to comment. He says, people don't want to hurt your feelings. So asking friends if it's a good idea. Pretty useless validation.
And the tech press. Informly got coverage on Mashable and the Next Web. Sounds amazing.
But resulted in 0 paid users, according to him. It might feel good, but it doesn't pay the bills. Even targeted surveys he found flawed. He did one for a potential pivot, got like 20% saying they'd definitely pay.
And in reality,
only 3 actually did when he built it, which led to his great quote. People don't know what they don't want until they're forced to open their wallets.
that really cuts through the noise, doesn't it? Even pre-selling, which is often recommended.
He sees it as often flawed, too. It might just test if people respond to a big discount, not the core value prop at a real price. So for Norris, the only validation that matters is simple. Customers paying money. Everything else is just hypothesis.
So the 7-day deadline forces you past all that potentially misleading validation and straight to the real test.
Exactly. And it also forces efficiency. Parkinson's law, right. Work expands to fill the time available. A tight deadline makes you incredibly focused on what truly matters, stopping you from procrastinating on, perfecting the logo for 3 days.
It definitely lights a fire under you. And it pushes you from being a entrepreneur, someone always talking about their idea, to an actual entrepreneur, someone who's doing something.
That litmus test he uses is brutal, but fair. If you have a conversation with a friend about your business idea this month, and next month you are having the same conversation, you are a entrepreneur.
Action is the antidote.
Okay.
So if you're launching fast, you need a minimum viable product, an MVP. But Norris has a specific take on this too, right?
Yeah, he thinks the term MVP is often misunderstood. People focus way too much on the minimum part and not enough on the viable part.
Meaning?
Meaning the MVP can't just be a buggy, half-baked thing. It has to be viable enough for a customer to actually use it and get the core value, allowing you to complete that build, measure, learn feedback loop. You need real feedback on the core promise.
Okay, so not just minimum features, but a viable experience of the core value.
Exactly. And his key insight here is forget about automation and figure out what you can do manually. To start, mimic the final customer experience using human effort, not complex code.
Like WP Curve's 24/7 support. He was literally the support desk at 3 a.m. on his phone.
Right. The customer got the 247 experience, which validated the model, even though the method was totally manual and unsustainable long-term. He learned people would pay for that level of service.
That makes sense. Do it manually first to prove the concept before investing heavily in automation.
He gives other great examples, too, like Noah Kagan at AppSumo running his first deal manually on Reddit for Imgur. Or Jeffrey Shaw's underground cellar validating a complex wine upgrade model just by throwing a party where people paid a flat fee for a random, possibly expensive bottle. No tech needed initially.
Or Barometrics, Josh Pickford built a basic working Stripe analytics tool in just 8 days, charged from day one, and learned directly from those paying customers.
And Stacy Jacobs with Tidy, her cleaning marketplace. Launched in 7 days by starting super small, just 3 cleaners in one specific area. Prove it small before scaling wide.
So the MVP is about the quickest path to learning from paying customers, often by doing things manually.
That's the essence of it. Get that real-world transaction friction happening ASAP.
So the 7-day plan itself in the book, it's structured, right? What's the basic flow?
Yeah, he breaks it down day by day, focusing on the purpose for each day. Day 1 is about the idea, but not inventing something radical. It's about finding a problem people are already paying to solve and basing your idea on key elements like scalability, enjoyability, large market, etc. Find an existing pain point.
Makes sense. Don't try to be Steve Jobs creating a whole new market on day 1.
Exactly. Day 2 is nailing down that MVP. What specifically will you launch to test the core hypothesis? Day 3 is the name. Just pick something acceptable quickly. Don't agonize. Check it's available, easy to say, broad enough. Done.
Keep moving.
Day 4, build the website. Just a functional presence, maybe WordPress, under $100 he suggests, to communicate and sell. Day 5 is initial marketing. How will you get in front of likely buyers quickly? Content, email, forums, maybe even some free work initially.
Getting those first eyeballs.
Day 6 is setting targets. Crucially, a financial target, like an MRR goal. What he calls the one metric that matters, not vanity metrics.
Focus on the money.
And day 7, launch. Just do it. He emphasizes it's just day 1 of maybe 1,000 or more. It's the starting line, not the finish line. The real learning starts now.
Okay, so you've launched in 7 days. You've maybe got a few paying customers. What's next? Because that's just the very beginning.
Right. Now the real work starts. Refining the business model and building something sustainable and ideally scalable. This is where he contrasts heavily with his failed agency.
He lays out criteria for a scalable model, doesn't he?
He does. 5 key things to aim for. First, a healthy profit margin. He aimed for 50% with WP Curve, a service business. You need margin to reinvest and, well, survive.
Absolutely crucial, often overlooked in the rush for revenue.
Second, a large market. You need room to grow. If your niche is tiny, you'll hit a ceiling fast. Third, asset building. Are you creating long-term value? Things like your customer list, your brand, your systems, your team. That question he asks is great. What are you working on today that will make you indestructible tomorrow?
Love that. Thinking beyond the next sale.
Fourth, keep the business model simple. Complexity breeds inefficiency and makes scaling harder. Simpler is usually better. And fifth, aim for recurring or predictable revenue. Subscriptions, retainers, predictable purchase cycles. It smooths out cash flow and provides stability.
That MRR focus again.
Yeah.
Okay, so build the model for scale. And then he has these sort of ongoing rules or principles.
Yeah, like 14 business rules to live by, things to keep in mind for the long haul, like test every assumption constantly, because you'll be wrong a lot, both before and after launch. Use data.
Stay humble, stay learning.
And solve problems as they arise. Don't do premature optimization. Don't spend ages perfecting payroll if you only have one employee, Focus on the biggest bottleneck right now, which is probably getting more customers early on.
Makes sense. What else stands out?
Outlearn your competition. Speed of learning is a huge advantage. Keep iterating with that build, measure, learn loop. Also, manage motivation. This is a big one. You need to enjoy the journey. You should be more excited about Monday than you are about Friday, he says. If not, something's wrong.
That's a good gut check.
And practically, call difficult customers. They drain so much energy and time, it's often better to fire them and find better fits. Also, focus on product. When things get tough or you're unsure what to do, improving the core product or customer experience is usually the best use of time.
Your best marketing is a great product, essentially.
And finally, maybe the simplest rule, love your work. If you don't genuinely enjoy the core tasks and the mission, it's going to be incredibly hard to sustain the effort needed.
Wow. Okay. Lots to unpack there. So wrapping this up, what are the big actionable takeaways for someone listening?
I think the first is obvious. Prioritize launching something fast. Get out of the planning stage and into the learning stage. You learn so much more from real interactions.
And related to that, only trust paid validation. Forget the compliments, the maybe laters, the free signups. Focus on getting people to open their wallets, even for a small amount initially.
Definitely. Then constantly evaluate those three pillars: idea, execution, hustle. Where are you strong? Where are you weak? How can you improve?
Embrace that manual MVP. Don't overbuild. Figure out the simplest way, often manually, to deliver the core value and test if people will pay for it before you invest heavily in tech or infrastructure.
And think about the business model from day one. Is it designed for growth? Does it have decent margins, a big enough market, potential for recurring revenue, simplicity? Is it building an asset?
And finally, just commit to that cycle of continuous learning. Build, measure, learn, adapt. Outlearn everyone else by testing constantly and focusing relentlessly on improving the product and customer experience.
It's really a blueprint for taking action and learning from the market, not just from spreadsheets and theories.
Absolutely. It's practical, maybe a bit brutal, but focused on what actually moves the needle. So as you finish listening, here's something to mull over. A little provocative thought. What's one core assumption you're holding on to about your business idea, or maybe a business you're already running? And how could you test that assumption by launching something, even a tiny manual version, in the next 7 days? That's all the time we have for this deep dive. Make sure you subscribe to the Business Book Club for more insights into essential reads that can help you build and grow your business. Thanks for tuning in.
Now, that's a wrap for this episode of the Business Book Club. If you enjoyed the ride, make sure to subscribe so you'll never miss our next deep dive. Got a favorite business book you'd love us to explore? Let us know. We're always up for a good read. And hey, don't keep all these insights to yourself. Share this episode with a fellow book lover or your work buddy who's always looking to level up. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and we'll see you in the next episode.